So, animations are a contentious talking point in Battlefield 5. Some people love them, others hate them. I sit firmly on the animations are rubbish team, and there are several reasons for this, and I'll get into those in this video. I'm not saying that there's no place for animations in a Battlefield game, I'm just saying that the way they are implemented in Battlefield 5 is pretty atrocious, and all they do is take away from the experience. To start off, let's talk about what an animation actually is. In the case of gaming, I'm looking at it as a movement that the player cannot influence. The game has decided that you need to do something and then takes control and completes the action. This may be initiated by the player clicking a button, or it might be something that the game does automatically. Maybe you can cancel it, maybe you can't. A good example of an animation is either the combat roll, getting blasted away by a V1 explosion, climbing in and out of a vehicle, or reviving a teammate. So why do I have all this hate towards animations? Personally, I think it removes control from the player, and anything that does that in an FPS game has to be very carefully designed and completely warranted. In Battlefield 5, the animations seem to have been thrown in with a mindset of the more the better, whilst in fact they take so much away from the game. V1 and MCOM explosions, objective arming animations, picking up explosives, pushing open doors, vaulting, climbing, picking up ammo and health, getting in and out of vehicles, towable or stationary weapons, it all reduces the control you have in game and adds to the already frustrating experience. Some of those animations are indeed quite nice, but the majority of them are completely unnecessary, or they've been implemented in the wrong way. In this video, I'll take a look at some of the more frustrating animations and show some footage that I recorded that shows why I dislike them so much and why they should not be in the next Battlefield game. Maybe you love animations, and if that's the case, please leave a comment down below so I can have a read. So as I said, I recorded some footage of these annoying animations, and in the background you'll see a selection of them. The first is a pretty simple one. There's an enemy transport truck in front of me, the half track, and I'm running around on Rotterdam wondering what the hell it's doing. Now usually on Battlefield 4 players would spawn on something like the Amtrak, which I suppose is similar, and they jump out to the side of it. You could then get in a gunfight, maybe you could instantly jump back in, and there we go. But in this game, the enemies are having to complete an animation to get out of the truck. And I thought this was a good one because I get quite a few kills in it, so you can see it multiple times. I'll slow that clip down again in the background as this guy jumps out of the truck. He has very little chance to kill me whilst I see him the entire time he is completing an animation. And the animation cannot be stopped. He is forced to do that, which really sucks. Animations also ruin gunfights. In the background we have a clip on Devastation of Rotterdam. I'm running across the road, I spot an enemy camping and prone in the corner, I kill him, not a problem. Another dude I'll see in a second and take him down, and everything's fine. Now you notice these doors on the left, you don't actually have to click E to open them, and there we go. Death to an animation. You can sprint at them and the doors will automatically open. This is annoying. That guy there, I'm aiming, I'm clicking left mouse button, I'm trying to shoot him, but I can't because the game has decided it's time for me to open a door. Watch it again in even slower motion. This is so annoying. Now what should happen in this case is you should have to click E to open doors. Simple as that. There should be no sprinting through doors or anything like that. If you're sprinting and you click E at the right time, you blast through the door. Simple. Here's another clip, Rotterdam on the top of the bridge by the trains. This is from my friend Eros. That's why there's no sound, because he actually rages quite loudly in the background, and I don't blame him. He runs over to that ammo box, he clicks E to pick up ammo, and the game decides that it's time for him to do an animation onto the stationary AA gun. Now, this would be fine if it was an instant jump on, and then he clicked E to jump back off. It would be quite a small impact to his game, but because it's such a long animation and you can be shot whilst doing it, it's so easy for an enemy to kill you. Finally one, again by my friend Eros on Mercury. This soldier is building fortifications, can't be shot because the fortifications are there. He then does a longer vaulting animation and gets shotgunned. Now this is one that I don't really like, but I can understand. You have to be punished for climbing over something like that instead of running around, so that is why it should be acceptable. But there are very few animations that I really think should stay in the game, and the funny thing about that last clip is the fact he shoots the guy in the face, but the game doesn't recognise it because of the invisible fortification. But there we go, that's another issue. There are a few animations that are acceptable. Interacting with ammo boxes is okay, and the animation from that is acceptable. Everything else sucks though, and I really hope DICE go back to what made Battlefield so popular. You cannot say that Battlefield 5 is a very popular game. It just isn't. Although DICE haven't given official figures, I can say that I'm 99% certain it has less players online in this stage of its life cycle than Battlefield 3, 4 or Battlefield 1 did. Is this down to animations? No. It's down to a whole load of things, but trust me, things like animations have driven so many players away from the franchise. All of those amazing only in Battlefield moments that gained the game countless videos online and clips posted across social media have gone. In the drop of a hat, bang, we don't have them anymore. So what do we get now? Well, DICE have tried to implement some of these only in Battlefield moments back, so yeah, we've got the V1 rockets, which I suppose can be pretty epic. We've got launching vehicles across the map. The animations force you to do something stupid before you can shoot somebody. The planes are boring, the tanks suck. It's really not a good look. Whilst you do have a few things left, and yes, people can pull off great clips, it's a far cry from what we had in Battlefield 4. So now on to my biggest concern with animations, the impact they have on vehicle gameplay. Starting with the planes. Plane animations are an issue in Battlefield 5 because they neither achieve what they were supposed to do or provide any fun. I think what DICE were aiming for with the plane animations is to prevent people from bailing out when you are about to kill their plane, so you always get the kill, but that's not the case. People bail out of planes all the time in Battlefield 5, and to be honest, it's worse than it's ever been in another Battlefield game because of the long time to kill. Maybe it's around the same as in Battlefield 1. Take a look at any of my plane gameplay on YouTube in previous videos. Pilots always bail out. The TTK is long enough, meaning most pilots will jump out and even with a 2-second animation, get away and leave me with nothing. I guess you could escape from your jet in Battlefield 4, but remember, the lack of animations in that game opened up so many opportunities for epic clips and moments, so it's not a bad trade-off. You can also turn a plane upside down or on its side in BF5 and avoid doing an animation altogether, which is clearly an oversight from DICE. A better solution is to have limited animations and as much player control as possible. When it comes to planes, go back to the Battlefield 2 system where the last person to damage the plane gets the kill whenever the pilot dies. This way everybody wins. Vehicles in Battlefield 5 when compared to previous BF games are quite poor in general. I'm not saying they're weak. I personally think most of the vehicles are very strong in Battlefield 5. But they just aren't fun to play with and do not promote a good style of gameplay. If the game wasn't suffering from such low player numbers, we'd see the return of many talented vehicle players who I know for a fact moved on to other games or still play BF3 and BF4. These good players would be abusing the best vehicles in the game, as is often the case. And what I mean by this is vehicles that have an advantage over others. For example, the Churchill kicks you out of the side of the tank within 0.3 seconds when exiting, whilst the Axis tanks eject you out of the front of the tank into oncoming fire, and also it takes far longer. Things like this have not been thought through at all and are completely imbalanced. It's actually quite incredible, the lack of control with this sort of stuff coming out from DICE. Usually the vehicles are bang on and really well thought out, but in Battlefield 5 they are all over the place. Back in the Battlefield 4 days, you had the chance to work alongside a gunner in order to be more effective. You could bail out and repair, or your gunner could bail out and repair themselves. You could take loadouts that complemented each other, or maybe try working with a squad of infantry players to take objectives. People might repair you, people might jump in and out of the tank, or if you've got an LAV, there's enough seats for everybody. The tank's speed and manoeuvrability are what made it so much fun, but you also had a good chance for some team play. They were very strong offensively, but not so strong defensively, and you had to make use of good positioning and the speed of the tank in order to get away. In Battlefield 5, the pace of the tank gameplay has caused tankers to take even less risks because they know a lot of damage at close range means your only option is to start running away. This means that they sit on a hill and camp. You can't risk getting out of the tank and quickly repairing due to the crazy animation time. Plus, I very much doubt any of your teammates have stuck around to repair you. They'll take damage, from splash damage, they'll take damage from people shooting at the tank. You know, it's just not fun. Now, I've got a clip in the background that you've probably seen, but I'll replay it again in slow motion. I'm on Rotterdam, I'm running to a tank station because I need to repair and resupply my tank. It hasn't been built because the game doesn't build them at the start of the game. I have to get out, which takes a few seconds. I have to build the resupply station, which takes a few seconds. In that time, some guy's spotted me, run over. I don't know where he is or what he's planning to do. I think he's trying to steal my tank, so I jump into the tank. He kills me, he runs off with the tank, and that's the end of it. I do hunt him down and take him out because that's not acceptable, but it's super annoying. There are several things in that clip that shouldn't be allowed in Battlefield 5, but there we go. It's not a simulation game. It's not supposed to try and mirror real life. It actually doesn't get close to realism with these animations in any way. So why sacrifice the fun aspect for the sake of some slowdown on the turret turning speed, or maybe these climb-in animations? I really don't see the point of it. Here's a neat trick that DICE have clearly failed to see. Get your gunner to spawn on the tank. You then spawn in as a medic and take the driver's seat, whilst the gunner, who has spawned in the tanker class, sits in the gunner seat. He can get out and repair you 5 times faster than the support repair tool, meaning you are pretty much invincible in any tank fight, assuming he stays alive. If he does die, you can risk getting out to revive him as you're a medic, or at the very least throw a medical crate on the tank before going into battle, meaning the gunner, who is using the tanker class, will heal up whilst repairing you. It's incredibly strong and something that I haven't used a lot, but if you do, you're pretty much invincible on the battlefield. So as I said at the start of this video, I'd love it if you could leave your comments and your thoughts on animations in Battlefield 5 in the comments down below. I am clearly not a fan of them, and I think many other people aren't as well, but some people do love them, and that is what I want to know. Like, why do you love them? What is so good about the animations? Is it because it makes you feel like you're in a movie, or it's something that just looks nice, or do you think it promotes some sort of skill because you have to think about something before you do it because you know there's going to be a punishment? One thing I can definitely understand is people who believe the animations in vehicles could potentially have positive side effects, but the way they're implemented in Battlefield 5 is just wrong. One thing I definitely can't think people enjoy are the animations such as automatically opening doors, or doing things that you don't want to do in the game and then you can't cancel it. They are just completely counterintuitive to gameplay. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.